Hello, everyone, and welcome to the USL Show. I'm Phil Baki, and today we have a very special guest. We are on site here at Portland Hearts of Pine in Portland, Rhode Island, or Portland, Maine. Sorry about that. Portland, Maine. So sorry. We're off to a great start, and I'm joined by Kevin Schohl, the President and Chief Business Officer of Portland Hearts of Pine. Kevin, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for coming up, guys. It's great.
It's thanks so much for having us. We had a lot of fun doing this last year at Oakland, and we have a little bias towards those organizations which have the willingness to bring us on and do these sorts of shows. And obviously, thanks for taking the time pregame here before the Jaeger Cup match against Pittsburgh. Thanks for taking some time with us. And so first off, I mean, just in terms of the project, Portland Hearts of Pine, and the way that this all got started, have you been at all surprised by the community's reception, or is this like what you guys had in mind when you started?
Yeah, I think this was always the hope in Gabe's mind, right? Gabe, for 5 years, our founder, had been working at this community and trying to get to this point, and I don't think he ever had a doubt. And he made sure to build a whole staff of believers, and we really never had a doubt either, I would say. Without being too pretentious about it, I think we're not necessarily exceeding expectations. We're meeting our very high expectations. And I think there are pockets of things that are still blowing us away, like the amount of merchandise that we're seeing sold to all corners of the globe. There are certainly elements of that has surprised us to see people in so many different places love the brand, love the merch. But we always planned on selling out Fitzpatrick Stadium every time, and we just wish it was a little bigger.
Sure. And I mean, I'm sure facilities wise and everything like that is something that probably comes with time. But with your background, being at Atlanta United previously, and then your Northeast ties, like how much of a no-brainer was coming into this project with Hearts of Pine?
Yeah, this is perfect. I mean, one of the best things in my career prior to this was being involved in the launch of Atlanta United, and to be able to get a little bit of that magic back, and maybe even bring a little bit of that magic to here was certainly a big draw. And the spirit here and the excitement and the passion you have when you're in a supporters pub drinking a beer with them, it's the same whether the stadium fits 70,000 people or 6,000 people.
Sure.
It's all about that passion, and I think so many people in Maine that are excited about this, many of whom have been following it for years. Others are like, well, I didn't know it was going to be that popular. I thought I could just show up and get a ticket, and they're finding out, no, you can't.
Sure. What made, I mean, for those who don't know Portland and don't maybe have the history with it, what makes Portland such a strong soccer city?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a big time soccer state. Soccer is the number one sport for youth participation here in the state. A lot of passion. I think beyond that, you have this kind of tribal fandom of people in New England. Obviously, a lot of Red Sox, Bruins, et cetera, fans. And so you have that sports fandom in people's blood. You have that love of place and love of being a Mainer. And so for all these things to wrap together in our product has been, perfect for us. I think the other thing too is you compare to other parts of the country, a lot of places have college football as a big deal, like a religion almost. You're going there, you've got your routine, you've had your tickets for 30 years, you've got your tailgate, you've got your everything. And, that's just not how minor league baseball or minor league hockey is. So for Hearts to be able to kind of fill that gap where every other week you're coming here like it's a pilgrimage to the stadium and seeing your friends and drinking the beer and all that stuff, I think it's a amazing thing to see, and it's much more similar to Europe than you would see in other parts of the U.S. probably.
So in terms of capturing that feeling, that sort of you call it the European vibe of this club and building that connection with the team, was that something that it relies on Portland as a community, or is that something that you guys did specifically to try to create that connection?
No, I mean, we're just tapping into the passion that exists here, right? This club is very much born out of the community that it's in, and I think what the club can do that fosters that is have authenticity and respect for the fan base. And so for Gabe to bring this here and to be meeting people where they are and to involve the community in the entire building of this club was so important. So even if only 200 and then 500 and then 2,000 people kind of realized that was happening for a while, those people tell their friends and they tell their friends. And so, by the time I started last year, we already had a pretty strong following, at least people being very curious. And as we launched the brand and it got even bigger, we were able to foster it from there. So there's certainly things you need to do on the business side to make sure that you're being authentic to your fan base and you're being true to the things that you were building. But so much of this is just letting the passion of the fans come out and giving them a place to show up and go crazy.
That's, I mean, you mentioned obviously the start and the fact that the way you've gotten off to a good start with the fans, all sellouts, just all down the home.
We've got the whole season sold out, right?
Yeah.
So we are trying to find ways to find little corners of the place we can put some more seats and let some more people in here. But at the end of the day, we're going to have the whole season sold out and set a new USL average attendance record and kind of go way past Richmond's record on that one. But so much of that is not because we have a fancy stadium, right? Mm-hmm. It's just because we've got a great community that's excited to be here.
You talked about the start or the numbers, and I mean, in terms of average attendance, obviously, like League One isn't even really a question. It's like you're ahead of a lot of championship sides in that regard. How has that, in terms of your expectations as an ownership group and the front office, like how does that alter the 5-year plan, so to speak?
Yeah, I think we approached this not in a USL League One versus USL Championship way. We approached this in terms of having pro soccer in Maine and doing everything we can, even though our stadium facility isn't maybe up to the standards of a lot in the USL Championship. We want to build a culture. We want to build a team on the field that can look just like those guys. And obviously, we're playing Pittsburgh here tonight.
Yeah.
We beat Detroit here a few weeks ago.
Sure.
We've had our chances to kind of go toe-to-toe with USL Championship teams on the field. And we certainly see them as peers as it relates to the business side of things. And hopefully us and other expansion teams that are coming into League One are really raising the bar for what good looks like in USL 1. And I think we're starting to see a lot of that across the league.
Well, and I would say facility-wise, just from the early returns here, it definitely looks the part in terms of like whether or not it's the ideal setup or something like that. I mean, you guys definitely make the most of it.
We love it, right? The fans love it. It gets rowdy. It gets full. We have to set it up every time and tear it down every time. We wish there weren't all these other field markings on it as it gets later in the year. So there's some things that are tough when we're sharing a facility.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, we were able to put, really high quality turf down. We were able to make this place our own and be able to invest in it in a way that also benefits all the other people that use the stadium. So we're happy with it. And it's a great location here in Portland. Yeah. So, we plan to be here for a while and just try to do what we can at the margins to improve it.
For those teams, you talked about raising the bar of these like League One expansion sides and obviously like being able to be a standard bearer, I guess, of how to do it the right way. What is something that you guys ran into that you would tell someone who's entering League One of, hey, this is going to be a little bit tougher than you expect?
Yeah, I think that there had been a mindset in League One that, hey, this needs to be on a shoestring. You need to operate penny pinching. You got to, act like it's a minor league club. And, I think being able to let the ambition show through, make sure enough investment was there in proper staffing, proper hiring, good expertise, do it the right way. Don't leave people frazzled and understaffed. Obviously it's still lower division soccer.
Sure.
But we didn't look at it, the same way that maybe some other clubs do when they start out. So bringing in good talent helps, and being able to make the right investments, raise the right money up front to be able to do it right is important. And then, of course, we've got a little bit of magic pixie dust and brand marketing geniuses that have been through here, with Burke Cherry and Josh Lane and Gabe and others, being able to bring this brand to life and to connect with the community and to tell these stories creates a connection that goes far beyond the soccer.
Yeah. And I mean, I was definitely kind of taken aback just the first couple of days exploring the city and just the amount of Hearts of Pine stuff that I saw just out and about. Sure. On cars, on folks. Like it was just, it is kind of everywhere.
I'm starting to look around and wonder why even more people aren't wearing it. I'm like, why do you not have Hearts of Pine, right? Like those are the things that I'm looking for out there. But it is fascinating. And you see that across the city and people getting very impressed. but there's always still more to go. There's a lot of pride here for this team, and we need to prove that on the field, and we need to make sure that we keep it up and that people are coming back. We just did our season ticket renewal information, email last week, and people are so excited for next year already. Nobody even wants to think about opting out. Very, very few. So we're going to set some records in that regard as well. But excited to keep people excited, interested for the future.
Sure.
Tough thing for all the people on the season ticket wait list too. May or may not be able to get in, but someday.
That you talk about on the field, and obviously as the way that you continue to build upon the success off the field, got to do it on the field too. Why is Bobby Murphy the guy, and why was he the right person for the launch of this project in terms of getting the right squad in and competing?
Yeah, I think anytime you have to build a team from scratch, you need someone who's got connections. You got to be scrappy, and you got to be able to set the right culture. So somebody stepping into a job that might be too big for them, or somebody earlier in their career. Not to say they can't do it, but you got to make sure that they've got the right experience. I think for Bobby, having been able to see many different places over the years, even at the MLS level, that kind of experience is so important. You've just run across different personalities. You know how to handle different personalities. You know how to mesh them together well as a team. And of course, over the years, you develop tons of connections and experiences throughout soccer that help you build that roster. So for us, especially given how long we waited last year, it was so critical to make sure that we had someone who had those connections, built the roster, built the culture, and put up with the fact that we were still building this locker room up until a few weeks ago, and,
sure.
and be able to deal with the fact that this is a League One club, and we don't have all the trappings of bigger places, but we've got the heart, we've got the spirit that you'll see from the fans today.
I did get a chance to talk to Bobby briefly, informally, after training yesterday, and he does seem like a very happy guy in terms of where he was coming from in St. Louis, and just he's like, yeah, there's trade-offs in level, but the ability to help set the culture, the alignment with the ownership group, he just seems like a guy who was made for this role in many ways.
He had previous ties up here in New England, which I think gave him a little bit of familiarity that maybe some other coaching candidates didn't have. But he likes this place. He likes the people here. He's a damn good coach, so we're happy to have him.
Well, in terms of a lot of USL sort of hype and news around launch of potential D1 in a couple of years, how does Hearts of Pine see themselves fit into the pyramid, if you will, as USL starts to try to build this pro rel structure and all these things? Is Hearts of Pine a D1 team?
I think it's way too early to tell on that. We want to be competing for rising up to that level. We're certainly not going to pay for it. We're going to, win our way up there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of work that would need to happen at the stadium here for that to be possible. So we're excited to see, what U.S. Soccer can do to ease up on some of the restrictions that would make it tough for a place like this to do that. But you see things when you look at U.S. Open Cup, or you talk to people in U.S. Soccer, and the vibe here, the spirit here, this is what they want to have everywhere. They want in every little community across the country, in every smaller city, and then every bigger city, to be so in love with not just soccer in general, certainly not like some other countries' soccer, but soccer here in their town. And so if we can be a little bit of a model and a blueprint for others, I think that's helpful as we figure out where are those D1 teams, where are those D2 teams, where are those D3 teams. And who knows what the future holds here as it relates to Pro Rel, but we're excited for the sport. We're excited for USL. We're glad to be a part of it, and we'll be very supportive as the league figures these things out. It's fun to be able to play a team like Detroit, a team like Pittsburgh. These are major league cities. That's not how Portland, Maine is typically seen. Mm-hmm. And so if we can compete at that level and we can, be a tier 1 team, we would love that. But we've got a few years yet to figure that out.
No, fair enough. And in terms of the facility, obviously you're happy to call Fitzpatrick home at the moment. And are there already, I'm assuming there are things that you're having conversations with the city and things like that about.
Honestly, we just got on the field. It feels like we've been around a while, but we just got on the field. So we put down this brand new turf, this off season. We're excited about Fitzpatrick Stadium. Honestly, full. Honestly, we're not looking around right now.
Okay, yeah.
But that said, we know that if we're looking 10, 20 years down the line, what is the right size stadium for us? What is the right home for us? I would like to hope that it's right here at this site, maybe with some improvements, maybe with additional upgrades over the years.
Sure.
But that'll depend on the other tenants of the facility and the ownership of the facility and those things too. So, we hope to be able to make this a very, very long-term home, and that we can, have support from the community to be able to do that here.
Well, you talked about the excitement of playing a team like Pittsburgh, and that's happening tonight. Obviously, the circumstances around Jägermeister Cup and all that sort of stuff make it maybe somewhat of a dead rubber, both teams sort of out of it and all that. And a pretty exciting opportunity, one, to pack the facility and play a USL championship side, and a chance to maybe for a lot of the folks who are maybe at their first home game or whatever, to see maybe a little bit of rotation and some guys get more of an opportunity to shine tonight who wouldn't typically maybe see the field in league action.
Yeah, we have so many season ticket members that are excited for every game, no matter who we play.
Yeah.
And then obviously every game is somebody's first game. And so we try to put on a special thing every time. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are on the field. Our job, especially on the business side, is to make sure people are having a good time and having fun, and the beer's cold and the food's warm and whatever it needs to be, right? So all of that to the side, we're excited for what the league is doing that gives us this showcase to be able to play USL championship team. And even if both teams are rotating the squads a little bit, you may see even more energy and excitement out of some of the other guys who know this is their chance.
Yeah.
Right? There's no question that the guys on the field will be absolutely at their max trying to win this game, especially in front of the sold-out home crowd, right? So no doubts about that. And so we'll hope to get another home victory here in the Cup.
And just as by way of sort of closing things out, for someone maybe who's a fan of another League One side or a championship side that would play Portland, or maybe somebody who would play Portland in the future, what's the thing that you would want people from other cities to know about Portland, Maine before they visit, or to get them to visit?
Yeah, we certainly want people to come visit us here in Maine and check this out, because it's a fun thing. It's hard to get a ticket, but it's a great place to live. It's a great place to be, and we've got an amazing fan base here. So, the spirit of the community, being able to see the smoke and the chants and the full stands isn't something you see everywhere. And so to be able to see that here, to know that $20 tickets are reselling for $80 or $100, and just how crazy the demand is here. There's people that are going to be like on the fence over there trying to peek in. And so all of those things that are here, you can feel it as you're walking around the city, right? We are outselling every other USL team in terms of merchandise, and we want you to keep buying that stuff, right? We want you to spread this brand all over the world. No matter who your favorite team is, we're happy to be your second favorite team, and we'll convince you that we should be your first favorite team.
Well, I will say we've really enjoyed our time in Portland. Food, unbelievable. And obviously we appreciate all the hospitality and giving us a chance to have one of the hottest tickets in town. Cause I know that this is not something everybody's getting to do. So So Kevin, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks again for giving us the time pregame here, and excited to pull for hearts here.
Awesome. Up the hearts.
A massive thank you to Kevin Schohl for coming on to the podcast. He was an absolute delight to listen to. Great job, Phil. Even though you did say Rhode Island at the very beginning, I do think Kevin forgave you. And so if Kevin can forgive you, I definitely can forgive you. But seriously, thank you guys for doing what you do. And if you're watching this, thank you. Without your love and support, we could not do what we do. Without you watching every single week, we could not go to Portland, Maine and do a live show and experience one of the best atmospheres that U.S. soccer has to experience. Without you, we couldn't even meet each other. Like John, Ryan, and Phil would not be able to go and meet each other. We're all online friends. We could not be able to go do that without you. You mean the world to us, so we appreciate you so much. And if you did enjoy this Portland content, we have more Portland content coming. We got a lot of street interviews on the way. We got a lot of travel videos on the way. We got videos from inside the stadium, during the game, before the game, after the game. We got player interviews that happened. It was just an absolute blast. But again, it could not be done without you. Without you, none of this is possible. For all our patrons out there, it's not possible without you. For the people that bought our kit from Equip Studios, this would not be possible without you. For the people that just kind of casually follow along and don't really comment, but they're still loyal viewers, we could not do this without you. We appreciate you so much. And I really don't know how to end this without just saying thank you again. Thank you so much for watching, and get ready for just the absolute wave of Portland content to come out. So for the first and final time today, here's Alan's voice.
Thank you for watching another episode of the USL Show.
The USL Show is now proudly part of the Protagonist podcast family. Please go to protagonistsoccer.com to check out more work. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see everyone again next time.